All right, so yesterday the markets finished lower. It seems that the Trump rally is stalling. Today we have more inflation data coming out. We have earnings report from Disney. Markets are moving. And as you can see, it is a special guest here today. I'm joined by Alex B, the trader, because we are here in an Airbnb in Dallas where we are filming interviews with really super successful traders.
Yep.
And so excited that you're joining me on the show today. And for you guys, we have never done a show together. Alex doesn't even know what he's in for. So
I have
you're
no
in for a
idea.
treat. So with that said, welcome to Coffee with Marcus and Alex today. And in this show, we are going to talk to you about how we are trading the markets and what's happening in the markets. And today is, let's say, November 14th. And with that said, Alex, let's jump right in and let's look at these crazy markets here. I mean, S&P seems after this rally that we are stalling here a little bit. I mean, we had the Trump rally, and now right now we're up there. So what does it mean? Is it over? Will we now pull back? And what are your thoughts?
At this point, for me, I just like to look at the overall trend. Overall, we are trending up still, and we are consolidating right there. So ideally, we are holding support too, right? We have support right below that level.
Right.
So for me, it's still bullish. Even if we come back down to this 5,700 level, we're still bullish until we significantly break that and show some volume behind it. Until that happens, I'll be bullish overall in the market.
Yeah, and I just brought up the 50-day moving average. I mean, the 50-day moving average, we see it just usually beautifully where we touch it, maybe go a little bit below, and
Yeah.
we just recently touched it. So it almost feels that right now markets are waiting for the 50-day moving average to catch up a little bit. But I agree. I mean, I don't see a lot of risk in the market, especially now earnings season is over. I mean, so that's not happening. And then looking at the calendar, let's just look at the heat map for now. The heat map.
It's everywhere.
Whoa, how do you know that the Trump trade is over? You just look at Tesla. Tesla down 3.4% today. Look at the Magnificent Seven. Nvidia up, Microsoft up, Apple up, Google down, Meta down. Let's take a look at Tesla. What do you think about this crazy Tesla trade? Did you see what happens recently after Trump got elected?
Yep, we had a massive move.
Massive move
Massive.
higher.
So we're definitely gonna get some type of pullback. You got to expect that. So you don't want to just chase the move. You want to wait for some type of pullback, find some consolidation so you can find proper risk.
You see, I'm glad that you mentioned it because we just right before the show
Yep.
talked about Walmart. So Walmart is a swing trade that you're looking at.
Absolutely. I love Walmart because we have a really nice trend forming. If you draw that line there, we have a nice trend that's forming up. It's very bullish. We just broke out as well. And if I pulled up on mine real quick so I could tell you,
I'll give you the pen. You can draw around here.
Not only do we have the trend here, but we also have this consolidation. Just zoom in. Yeah.
Yep.
We also have this breakout and then pull back. And then we held this level. So anything pulling back is something that I'm interested in. But ideally, as time goes on, it's going to be doing pullback to that trend. And that's what I'm looking for.
Well, and you might get your wish because if you look at the economic calendar, and this is why I was bringing it up, tomorrow we have retail sales data being released, and retail sales data could move retailers like Walmart, like Kohl's, like a few others. Plus, also looking a little bit here at Walmart, I'll just actually go back here. We do have earnings coming up. So
Yep.
earnings coming up next week on Tuesday. And I mean,
That could give us the pullback for a potential entry as well, which I would love to see, ideally.
right, exactly. All right, all right, all right. Hey, talking about earnings, today Disney reporting earnings. Kind of crazy. Look at this, up 7.5%. Let me remove the 50-day moving average for now, but it's kind of a crazy move. So what do you think about Disney? I mean, is this a stock that you would be interested in trading? I'm just zooming out a little bit so that you see the longer term trend. And it's kind of interesting, right? If we zoom out a little bit and let's actually go to a weekly chart, right?
Yeah, for me, I mean, not yet. I just don't personally enjoy trading this until we start to break above this, what is that, 130-ish area?
Right. So right above
Yeah,
here.
because if anything, I mean, we just broke down from that area and we're consolidating back into that range. So I'm just kind of feel like it's an indecisive mode for me personally. Until we start to break above that and show more bullish signs and then start consolidation, then maybe I'd be interested. I do like Disney overall. Like as a company, I like to trade it, but right now it's just not for me.
You see, this where I think it's so glad that it's so different when you're joining us
Yeah.
than Mark, right? Looking here at some key principles, we're also saying, okay, this is where Disney right now diddling along here, and yes, this is a technical term that we use as a trader, but kind of caught between 80 and 120.
Yeah.
Great move today after they announced that their streaming service is doing better, and Disney definitely made a smart move, moving
Yes.
away from only theme parks, right, to
Yep.
a true streaming
Absolutely.
company.
And like you said, it's like a no, it's a mid-range, right? Like trading in mid-range for me is just kind of dangerous, kind of hard to, it's like 50-50. Where the real trade was in the 80s before the
Right.
earnings came out because there's clear support on the weekly, and that could have been a good trade.
Right. All right, let's see what else is going on in the markets. I like to look at the economic calendar today. Oh my gosh, we talked about it this morning. Powell is speaking again
Oh,
this afternoon, and we are in Dallas, and Powell is here in Dallas. We were thinking
we were
about
thinking about going see him. We should
go
go
see,
see
we
him.
should go see. Okay, well, what do you expect? Is it? I mean, it's flagged as a red flagged report. Do you think it's going to move the markets this afternoon?
For me, I don't like to assume what's going to happen ahead of time before Powell speaks, but I do have a rule for myself. I don't take any new positions until Powell's done speaking. So if I
Okay.
know Powell's speaking today, when it comes to large and mid caps, I'm not opening positions because it's usually range bound. It's usually very consolidated. Doesn't have much momentum one way or the other until after he's done speaking, and then that's when we start to get the range and the movement. So I like to wait till afterwards.
Right. So, did you take any trades this morning? Because you
Yeah,
said that you're working.
this morning was a small cap though. It was a small cap, not a large cap. It was BTCT. Ended up shorting that.
All right.
And I shorted that at around $23. And we're still in it. Overall, it's if you look at the big picture on the daily, if anyone's
Okay.
looking, if
Let's
you look
see.
on the daily, yeah, go ahead. BTCT.
BTCT. There
Yep.
we go. Okay.
Yep. So
Whoa.
it's massively massive move. We're overextended, multi-day runner. That's something I like to look for. And then we're finally breaking the trend. If you go to,
I don't know what I did here. There
there
we
you
go.
go.
Yeah.
Yep, you
All right,
zoom in a
just
little bit
zooming in.
more. Yep. So the
Jeez.
past like what 2-3 days, we went up over I don't know, is that 1,000% from $2 to $26? And if you go in a smaller time frame, you'll see that we finally reversed trend. So if you go to like, yeah,
1,800%.
insane, insane.
1,800%. Okay.
If you go to the 5 minute, you'll see we'll go and then we'll zoom out here. You'll see yesterday's high was right around.
Here,
Is
I'll
that
give you the
yesterday's
pen.
high?
This way you can draw around this.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Yesterday's high was is that
26,
yesterday's
yeah.
high? Yep. Believe that was yesterday's high, and then we ended up touching that level and then felling. And then if we go in even further, the what time frame is this?
5 minutes.
5 minutes. I don't recognize this chart compared to mine. Why does it look different to me? Do you see that?
Yours looks slightly different, yeah.
BTCT.
I have a 5-minute chart up here. Oh, I don't have the pre-market data.
Oh yeah, so I look at pre-market data.
Got it.
Because there was massive volume pre-market. Anytime there's a lot of volume pre-market, I kind of treat it as if it is the open. This one had, I think, around 10 million shares traded in the pre-market. It started to consolidate at the 23 level, which is right here.
What? I need to
Go ahead.
enable the pen again. So this is where we need to push these two buttons, and now you can.
There was this level right here. Pre-market, we were doing this, and we were doing a descending triangle, and then we broke. And so I'm getting in at that break, risking right above the triangle, of course, the previous high, and just riding it back down. Because it's a big mover and it moves so dramatically in a short amount of time, we're going to get a breather. And because we get that breather, typically when it comes to small caps, we're going to get anywhere between 20 to 30% pullback, and that's what I'm looking for.
Okay. So, guys, as you can see today, a completely different show. We're talking about day trading. We're talking about shorting stocks here. We're talking about other things than just swing trading. But I think this is the important thing, right? I mean, and this is why we're also doing various interviews today.
Yes.
There are many ways to trade the markets. And just because you are used from us to more of a swing trading approach with the WTF strategy, with the wheel strategy, I just thought it would be cool to look at some trades that are happening. And the one thing is, you got up super early this morning to look at the pre-market action.
Yeah, very early. That's the downside.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyhow, so this is a trade, and so for you, you're kind of in and out. Are you closing this trade today?
There's a good chance I will be holding it overnight, but there's also, if it gives me the whole move today and we just flush out, I will be covering most of it today because small caps you can get some extreme volatility in the after hour session. So you always want to be aware of that and protect yourself. So I immediately downsize a lot when it comes to that holding overnight if I do choose to.
Good. Okay. My God, this trade would have never ever been on my radar.
Yeah,
It's just not. And I mean,
that's
some of
okay.
the trades that I'm doing are never on your radar,
And
right?
that's what I love about trading, right? Like it's great because I'm interviewing you on my show and I'm learning so much from your perspective, but it's also very similar. And that's what's so cool about trading. Like we're all trading different things, but our language and how we manage risk and how we think about risk reward is the same. Like that's why I feel like the principles of trading don't change no matter what tool or what vehicle you are trading.
Yeah.
The principles always become the same.
And there you have it. Okay, so let's see what else is happening. Look at this, the VIX, the volatility index. I mean, this is the fear index. Crashing down before the election, it was trading at 25. Right now, we are down to below 14. So it means what? Fear has left the building.
What do you how do you see that? I'm
Well,
just curious.
it's really interesting. There was a lot of uncertainty, right?
Yep,
So first of all, okay, who's the next president elect? And it seems that it
mhm,
was neck to neck. So
it
we
did.
could have had a decision for that we didn't get for days or weeks, right?
Mhm,
And the same week we also had the Fed speaking, right?
mm,
So huge. And then this week inflation data. Now we know who the next president will be. We know what the Fed is doing, and Powell said he's very, very happy with the progress on inflation and in the economy. So probably, and this is where I like to look at the, let's just hop over there for a moment at the CME Fed Watch tool, seeing what market participants right now are factoring in. And I need to refresh this so that we get the data. I haven't done this before the show. So you can see I'm not in my office, which is fine. Let's just see what we get. Still not. Okay, come on. Load up here for us because I'm curious what traders are thinking right now will be the next Fed move in 34 days. And here we go. So let me just zoom in. Right now, Fed funds traders are factoring in a 75% probability of another 0.25% cut. And then 24 say rates will stay the same. I think the Fed will just move lower. And this is where, right, a lot of uncertainty that we had
yep.
over the last 2 weeks has been sucked out of the market. And with CPI and PPI data coming in, inflation data, right in line with expectations. So here we see it and see yesterday CPI previously
Mhm.
0.3 forecasted and came right in line with the expectations. Today, PPI right in line with the expectations. So I mean, what fear? I mean, what are we concerned about?
Yeah.
A recession? I mean, yeah, everything is just handy dandy and just fine. So, do you believe that we will see a market rally going into the year end, or that we are hovering around these levels? And just for context, right now in the S&P 500, we're already up 26% for the year.
Mm. You know, I don't like to make predictions myself, but I do like to like, definitely respect the trend itself. So I don't until the trend reverses, until we see some dramatic pullbacks with massive volume behind it, I'm gonna keep on saying we're gonna be bullish until that happens. And when that happens, I'm gonna shift. So that can happen tomorrow, if in which the odds are real low. But if that did happen, that's how flexible I'm going to be as a trader because you have to be able to adapt.
Yeah. So Mark and I, we just like to do cookie bets or stake bets and
Yeah.
say, okay, whether will the S&P will be on December 31st, above 6,000 or below 6,000. Right now we are trading right at the 6,000 level. Will we be above this level or below? Just for fun. Just for fun.
Above,
You're going above?
above. Yep.
Dang it. I was supposed to go above. Okay.
That's
All right.
okay. That's okay. I think it's gonna be above because usually, what is it? The Santa rally? Is that what
Santa rally. Yeah.
the Santa rally usually happens around December, and December where you get a lot of people who are off, who are spending their money, who are being in the markets. We'll get a lot more volatility. So that's why I'm thinking we'll at least touch that 6,000, maybe go a little over. What happens next year? We'll see.
We'll see. Okay. So let's take a look at a 5-minute chart to see where we stand right now with the indices for today. And here we have a 5-minute chart of the S&P. You see right now down the S&P down 0.1%, not really, opening a little bit higher, pulling back right now, just diddling along, waiting for some impulses, maybe waiting this afternoon for Powell, who knows. The Nasdaq today, same deal, opening higher, pulling back a little bit. The Dow, same deal. And then let's take a look at this small caps there. Russell trading towards session lows here right now, but overall, it seems to be a diddle day. And that's what we experienced this morning,
Mhm.
just looking at it. There isn't too much going on in the markets right now.
You know, what's interesting, if you look at all those again and you look at them on like a 15-minute time frame, they're all pretty much consolidating. They're all in a range. And why is that? It's probably because we all know that Powell's speaking today. And most people who are putting that kind of money into these type of stocks, especially the indices, they know that they're looking at the calendar way ahead, just like Marcus is as well. And they're making sure, like, okay, why would I take a big position when we still not quite sure what Powell will say? And that's why I think, once Powell's done speaking, we'll pick a direction. We'll start to see some type of momentum come in.
Fantastic. There you have it. You see, never a dull moment in the market. So tomorrow morning, we'll be back and we will cover what did Powell say this afternoon? Was it different from last week? We will talk about the retail sales data that is coming in. And tomorrow, Mark will be back. We're resuming our regular show today. I just hope that you enjoyed just a different perspective. Alex Be the Trader, you'll find him under Be the Trader here on YouTube. I'll put a link in the description so this way you can follow what Alex is doing there.
And we'll have Mark on that show, so you're going to want to watch that so you can see how Mark is on our show.
All right. Hope you enjoyed it. Give us a like. Really appreciate it. If you find that this was cool information worth sharing, there's a share button here somewhere on the page. Please share it with others. And then we'll see you again tomorrow morning. Have a great rest of your day.